like life and death, moon and sun, it's sure to each the piper comes. And while God and Goddess give for free, down below there will be fees. Despite perfect love and perfect trust, there's no way around it. Cash is a must. We've sought within, but come up short. So we come to thee, your help to court. If you would aid this temple's life, a $3 donation would be nice. Remember well that gifts when sent return threefold of what was spent. But if you can't, well, blessed be. We shall survive, so mote it be.
Merry meet and welcome to week 12 of Wicca, a year and a day in Magic. I'm Lady Nefties, and this week we will be learning about the tools of magic that you'll be using in ritual, magic, and on your altar. Alright, so let's start with the first tool I'd like to tell you about, the athame. Now, the athame is traditionally a black-handled knife, such as this one. Now, it is a blunt knife and should never be used to cut anything physical, and it should never be used as a weapon or to draw blood, because it would taint its energies. And if you ever did cut somebody with an athame, or even cut yourself on accident, you would never want to use that athame again. What you would want to do with that athame is go out somewhere in nature and bury it. You can use your athame to draw your circle, to mix salt and water and focus your energy, or cut a space in a circle if you have to leave the circle at any point. But more about that later. Now, as you can obviously see, this is a lovely athame. It is store-bought. Now, if you have such skills as to make your own athame, go ahead. But if you don't, store-bought might be a good option for you, because it takes a lot of time, energy, and I believe it costs more to even learn how to make an athame than it would cost to actually just go in a store and buy one. Now, if you don't have the money or the funds to buy an athame, what I even started with, for my first ritual long ago, I used my finger to draw my circle. Now back to the athame. Now, it's obviously a phallic symbol, and it symbolizes male energy. Now, if you would like a magical knife used for cutting herbs or drawing symbols on candles or wood, that would be called a Boline, and it is a white-handled knife. But in some traditions, they are okay with you using the black-handled knife. But in others, it's not okay. But it all depends on which tradition you're a part of. And of course, the athame or the Boline is never used for self-defense. Never, ever, ever. Now let's move on to the athame's big brother, the sword. Now, the sword is like an athame, but commands more authority. You can use it to draw circles and invoke the watchtowers, but it may be more practical to use it in an outdoor public ritual. But a word about public rituals and swords. You don't want to use a sword in a public ritual in a park, because people outside the circle, just regular mundane people, will see you using a sword and think you're crazy, and they will call the cops. And I'm pretty sure you didn't invite the cops to your ritual, did you? Now, if you want to use a sword for a public outdoor ritual, you want to make sure that you're on private property. Or, if you use it indoors, you want to make sure that you're not going to knock anything over, or you're not going to accidentally walk into somebody and hurt them. But, of course, along with the athame, your magical sword is never used for self-defense. Now let's move on to the wand. Now, the wand is used like an athame, but less threatening. It's used to draw your circle and invoke the watchtowers and focus your energy. You can easily make your own wands, and we will talk about more about the different types of woods and trees that you can make your wands from and the magical properties of those trees in later weeks. Now, if your wand is wood, it should be the length from your elbow to your finger, classically. But you can also use a crystal wand, such as this lapis lazuli wand. Now you can also inscribe your wand with different symbols. I don't have anything inscribed on this one. It's a little too thin. But if you would like to, you can carve your magical name into the wand or any sort of spell or empowerment symbol that you would like to. Now on to the pentacle. Remember last week? The pentacle is a 5-pointed star inside a circle and represents the element of earth. It is also a symbol of protection. The pentacle is used to empower, cleanse, or charge anything placed on top of it. Now on to the chalice. Now the chalice is a symbol of water and of the goddess. It is used to represent water on your altar and to mix salt and water to purify your sacred space. And it also could be used for scrying. Now you can use tap water or rainwater, or if your tradition calls for it, you can use wine. Now, I like to keep water in my chalice at all times on my altar to symbolize and attract abundance. Now let's talk about the cauldron, the classical symbol of a witch. Now the cauldron is the womb of the goddess symbolically, and is another tool of water, and is sacred to the goddess Cauldron. Now use a cauldron for burning herbs, making moon water, or to brew your own herbal potions, but not for ingestion. Alright, now I'd like to show you guys how to use a cauldron and how to use charcoal discs, because nobody ever explained it to me until I watched a YouTube video. Okay, so what you will need is you'll of course need your cauldron, but your cauldron does hold in heat, and if you've got it on just a regular surface, it can burn holes into the surface. I found out the hard way, and it ruined one of my bookcases. But, so what you want to do is you want to get a heat-proof dish or something like that and put your cauldron on top of it. So you won't have those issues. So what you want to get is a pair of tongs like these and your charcoal disc. Oh, don't fall, please. And so what you want to do is you want to light it until you get these nice sparks. And you get that, I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera, but yeah. Oh, yeah, you can see it. There it is. Wait until it's like that. Put it in there. You want to grab your herbs. Put it on top like that. And look, we got some beautiful herbal incense burning now. Now on to your tool of air. Now your tools of air could either be your athame or your wand, depending on which tradition you're a part of. But what you have to symbolize on your altar as the element of air is your incense. Now, you can use incense for purifying, banishing, smudging, and as offerings to the gods. Now, there are two types of incense, the combustible kind and the non-combustible. Now, as you just saw with the cauldron, that is a type of non-combustible incense. You have to have a charcoal disc in order to ignite it. Now, non-combustible incense is any type of herbs. But combustible incense is incense cones, like here, or incense sticks. Your ears ringing? Well, that would be your altar bell, another symbol of air on your altar. Now, a bell is used for purifying and banishing negative energy, and can also be used in ceremony or ritual to begin or end a ritual. Now, the last magical tool I'd like to go over today is the besom. Now, the besom is the witch's sacred broom. Now, the besom is used for purifying and getting rid of negative energy before a ritual. And it can also be used to get rid of negative energy just anywhere in your house. But it is never used for what a regular broom is used for. You don't ever want to, clean out your bathroom or your kitchen with your sacred besom. This broom is for ritual purposes only. Now, it is a good idea to store your besom behind your door or next to your altar. Now, why do you want to put it behind your door? Your front door, that is. Because it's believed that it'll guard your house against robbery. And so will locking your doors. That works real good, too. And you want to make sure to store your besom upright like I do with this one, because it protects the bristles. Well, that concludes week 12 of Wicca, A Year and a Day in Magic. Now, next week, we will be going over how to set up your altar. But your assignment for this week is, have you ever made your own ritual tools? Or do you plan on making your own ritual tools? Do you know how to work with metals in order to make your own athame? Or do you know enough about whittling wood to make your own wand? Or can you paint your own pentagram? But until next time, blessed be.